Hey guys, it's Cody. I'm shooting a video today. I'm going to keep it as raw as I can just to give you guys a good overview of what we're talking about here. But we're going to be discussing, some of the downsides to being a real estate landlord and some of the problems that you have to deal with when you have tenants move out or tenants not pay rent or things like that. So just to give you a little bit of a backstory on this situation, this is a home that I rented. You can see here behind me. If you see my other videos, which I'll link to right up here just in case you want to check it out, this is actually the home that I did a BRRRR method refinance on. So I bought it, did some renovations inside that you'll see. I placed a tenant and then I refinanced the loan, and we just finished the refinance a couple of months ago, and I was able to pull back all of my money out of the deal, and now we're cash flowing about $700 a month just off of this one property. Unfortunately, the tenant that was living there was, a previous tenant of mine. He was actually living in one of my other properties, and was a great guy, always paid on time, never had any problems with him. And he needed a little bit more space, so I gave him the opportunity to move in here when this one came up, and he jumped at it and wanted to move in. So because I knew him, because I knew a little bit about his background and knew that he'd pay, I gave him a pretty good deal as far as what he was paying on the rent, and things were going great until eventually he just kind of stopped paying the rent, and finally caught back up, but he was late almost every single month for about the last 5 or 6 months. So he was paying the late fees, he was catching up on rent, but basically just got to the point where this last month he wasn't able to pay rent and just kind of had excuse after excuse. So I posted a 3-day notice to pay or vacate. And the thing is, I was always willing to work with him, whether it was on a late payment or giving him extra time before he could pay that or whatever it was. I always worked with him, and it always worked out. But at this point, it just became too much. It was really damaging the business that I'm trying to run here, and so we had to come to an agreement that he would move out and forfeit his deposit, and he only paid me about a third of the month's rent that was due for September, which is the month we're in right now. So a little background on what he actually paid. He paid me $400 out of the $1,200 that was due in rent, and he forfeited the entire deposit, which I don't like to do because it actually leaves you you're kind of at the mercy of what they do to the home after they move out, and the potential repairs that you're going to have to do to the property. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the condition of this home. It's not great, it's not terrible, I've seen worse, but it's still going to take some work for me to get it back up to a rentable level. So a good thing here is that moved out, no problems as far as getting out and whatnot. He did move out before the end of the month, so that I will be able to now go in and do these repairs, do these changes before it becomes available for rent on October 1st. So that is the one saving grace to this whole thing. Plus, we're going to raise the rent about $150 over what he was paying previously. So that should help pay back some of these expenses that we're going to have. So why don't we go inside? We'll take a look around. I'll give you guys kind of a rundown of the condition of the property, what's changed, what was there, what wasn't there, and some of the updates that we're going to do to this home. Like I said, this is I've seen worse. I've seen a lot of homes that are in worse condition than this, but this one's still going to need some work. That unfortunately, it really kind of sucks because I lost out on a month's full of rent. Yeah, I got the deposit, which I didn't have to give back. So just right there, I'm down about $200, but that's not even counting the repairs or the cleaning that I now have to pay for. So, just to start off, we got overgrown grass. Looks like it hasn't been cut in, I don't know, probably 2 months. But that's just the way it goes. So walking inside here, I'm going to turn this around, show you guys a little bit about the condition. And this is, before I do that, I actually want to just give you a disclaimer. I did have a cleaner here for about half the day yesterday, so it did look much worse than this. Relatively, a lot of it has been picked up, but the cleaner's coming back tomorrow to finish up. So this is kind of like a half cleaned up condition that you're seeing here. You've got the basement down here. You can just see there's just trash. Some of the cleaner stuff here. They don't bother to, do any fix up on, or any cleanup, right? So a couple things in this house. You can see here, I'm just kind of coming over here to the corner. You can see here that the floor is something that we put in when we refinished the home, when we bought it and did some rehab to it. But I mean, you can just see here, look at the filthiness of the walls. Those have clearly never been cleaned. This window is actually, you can see here that this window actually has a line in it. What's beneath that line is actually water. So the seal that's in the window has broken and it's filling up with water and needs to be replaced. So that's something that we're gonna have to do. I don't want that water to be running down into the wall and causing mold or you know, giving me water damage. That would not be good. So coming over here again, I mean, you get left with stuff like this, just a fan. I don't know if you can see it, but this fan's literally being held on by just a single screw. The fridge was filthy. The cleaner got all of that taken care of. Coming down the hallway here, you can see awesome holes in the wall. More filth on the wall here. A lot of the light bulbs in here are burnt out. And this floor that we put in, we've done it kind of throughout the main floor here. There was 2 areas. Let me show you, you know, just some more filthy walls. This is what it's like being a landlord. This is kind of the raw look inside the landlord's life right here. So you can see here the floor, it's old floor, you know, nothing pretty. We actually decided not to change this out when we first did the rehab. It was actually in pretty good shape when we you know, did the refinance here, but it's since, you know, gotten in pretty rough shape here. So, you know, you get left with stuff like this, just an old, you know, drawer chest thing. So now I gotta figure out a way to get rid of that. I mean, this carpet is bad. Like I said, this is what it looked like before, where the bed was, and the whole floor looked like what's underneath the bed here, and this is what it looks like now. So you can see it's just, I mean, it's just filthy, right? This window's cracked. I don't know if you can see that. There you can see the crack there. But you know, just stuff like this that I now have to go in and fix. And the bummer here, is that I don't have a deposit that I can rely on for getting a lot of this stuff fixed. So I'm really kind of at the mercy of just changing, you know, making these changes and doing the update. But the truly unfortunate thing here is that we're going to be, you know, between 2 windows getting fixed, fixing all the ceiling fans, fixing the hole in the wall, changing out those floors and everything else. I mean, we're going to be at least $1,000 to get this updated. And, you know, sure, some of those things are going to be long-term upgrades that we can benefit from, that hopefully we won't have to do any more changes to. But, you know, it still sucks that now I have to come out of pocket with that to cover it. So luckily in this property, we're actually renting out the basement, which is covering a large portion of the mortgage here. And hopefully we can get this rented again on the 1st so that we don't have, you know, any vacant months. So hopefully we can at least catch up. So over the next year, I think it'll work out okay. You know, this is just kind of give you a raw look into the life of a landlord. I still believe 1,000% in being a landlord and what it can do for you long term. But these are some of the problems that you just kind of have to deal with. So luckily this didn't turn into an eviction. We just kind of agreed, hey, pay me this much, forfeit the deposit and move out, and we'll call it even. So that was kind of the rundown here on this house. You know, kitchen. We didn't do much work to that, just kind of giving you guys a rough view of what we've done. We just did a, you know, quick, easy coat of paint on the cabinets, so that wasn't really too bad. But that gives you a rough overview of how this home looks and kind of what to expect when you're a landlord. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you would, go ahead and click the like button on the video here, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and click the bell so you get notified when I release new videos just like this one, so you can stay up to date on all things real estate and learn more about how you can grow your long-term wealth through being a landlord, or even just investing in real estate through, you know, fix and flips, selling real estate, whatever it is. So this is Cody. Until next time.